For as long as we can remember, humanity has asked one haunting question. When did we truly begin? Was it thousands of years ago, as some religious interpretations suggest, or hundreds of thousands of years ago, as modern science claims? This is not a small disagreement. It is a difference of nearly 290,000 years. So who is right? Science? Religion? Or have we misunderstood both? Modern science tells us that Earth formed around 4.5 billion years ago. Life emerged billions of years later. And according to fossil records and genetic evidence, modern humans, Homo sapiens, appeared roughly 300,000 years ago in Africa. This conclusion is not based on guesswork. It comes from decades of research. Archaeologists have uncovered ancient skulls and skeletal remains buried deep beneath layers of earth. Scientists have analyzed DNA, tracing human ancestry through genetic mutations passed down over generations. Carbon dating techniques have helped estimate the age of bones and artifacts with remarkable precision. Science operates on observation and experimentation. It builds models based on evidence, and if new evidence appears, scientific theories adjust. Science does not claim eternal certainty. It evolves with discovery. Its central question is clear. How did the human body develop? And the current answer is that humans emerged gradually through a long biological process. But religion speaks in a different language. In the Abrahamic traditions, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, Adam is described as the first human being. Some scholars, calculating historical genealogies, estimate that humanity's story stretches back 6,000 to 10,000 years. At first glance, this seems to contradict scientific timelines completely. But here is something important that is often overlooked. Most sacred texts do not provide exact calendar dates for the beginning of humanity. The specific numbers commonly mentioned today often come from later scholarly interpretations, not explicit timestamps within Scripture. Religion was never meant to function as a laboratory report. It does not attempt to measure fossil layers or analyze DNA strands. Its focus is different. Religion asks, why were we created? What is right and wrong? What is our purpose? What happens after death? While science investigates the structure of the body, religion addresses the condition of the soul. The apparent conflict between science and religion may arise because we expect both to answer the same kind of question, but they do not. Science seeks mechanisms. Religion seeks meaning. Now consider another question raised in Islamic tradition. It is mentioned that 124,000 prophets were sent to humanity. If we hypothetically assume that all of them appeared within 10,000 years, that would average more than 12 prophets per year, nearly one every month. At first, that sounds overwhelming. But averages can mislead us. Prophets could have lived simultaneously in different parts of the world. Some eras may have witnessed many prophets guiding different communities. Other centuries may have experienced long periods of silence. And importantly, the Quran does not specify the total duration of human history. It does not state that humanity is limited to 10,000 years. The timeline remains open. Archaeology introduces another fascinating dimension to this discussion. Long before organized religion took structured form, ancient humans buried their dead with care. They placed tools, flowers, and symbolic objects in graves. They painted mysterious images on cave walls, images that suggest imagination, symbolism, and perhaps belief in something beyond the physical world. These behaviors indicate something profound. Early humans were not merely surviving. They were thinking. They were reflecting. They were searching for meaning. Spiritual awareness appears deeply rooted in human nature. Even before written scripture, humans asked the same timeless questions. Who are we? Where did we come from? Is there something beyond death? This suggests that spirituality may be ancient, even if organized religious systems are relatively recent in recorded history. So is science replacing religion? Not necessarily. If we ask how old the Earth is, how DNA mutates, or how species adapt, science provides measurable answers supported by evidence. Matters. Why justice feels necessary, or whether life has ultimate meaning, science remains silent. Science can describe the chemical reactions in the brain when we feel love, but it cannot explain why love feels meaningful. Science can map neural activity during moral decisions, but it cannot declare what is ultimately right or wrong. These belong to a different category of inquiry. Perhaps the real tension between science and religion is not about truth versus falsehood. Perhaps it is about categories. When we demand that religion function as a scientific textbook, or that science provide ultimate moral authority, confusion arises. But when each is understood within its domain, the contradiction softens. It is possible that the biological human body is ancient, shaped through long natural processes, and it is also possible that at some moment in history, moral consciousness and spiritual responsibility emerged in a way that religious tradition describes symbolically through the story of Adam. Maybe beginning does not refer only to physical existence. Maybe it refers to awareness. Maybe it refers to responsibility. Maybe it refers to the moment when humans became accountable beings. So when did humanity truly begin? Was it when the first upright figure walked across the African savanna, or when the first human understood the difference between right and wrong? Perhaps both moments matter. Perhaps they describe different dimensions of what it means to be human. Science studies bones, genes, and fossils. Religion speaks of purpose, accountability, and destiny. One examines the outer structure, the other explores the inner reality. And maybe truth is not divided between them. Maybe it is one reality viewed through different lenses. The search for human origins is not only about ancient skulls buried in the earth, nor only about sacred words written in Scripture. It is about identity. It is about understanding who we are. Because until we understand our origin, we struggle to understand our purpose. The debate continues. New fossils will be discovered. New interpretations will emerge. New questions will be asked. But perhaps the greatest question remains unanswered. Not just when did we begin, but what makes us truly human? And perhaps the next step in this journey is not about the age of the body, but about the mystery of the soul. Where does it come from? Where does it go? And what makes it different from mere biology? That is a question for another journey, and the search continues.